Hold just a second. Alright, good morning and welcome back to Boisterous Cock Farmstead. I think we're on day 5 if I remember correctly. It all kind of blends together. Yesterday was not the best day. The drywall mud, the first application is taking a while. I can still see a couple places where it's still a little wet. Like up in this corner here, and that's after giving it a full like 36 hours of drying. So I gotta get another application on here, so I'll be doing that first thing today. And I hit quite a snag on refinishing the tub. I was trying to buff up, so there was some area around the drain where the old enamel had cracked and was lifting up, and it was a cut hazard, like if you rub your finger or your toe or something along there. And so I was trying to like buff it out and feather it out, and the enamel just kept chipping away. And so what I ended up doing was I took some JB Weld quick weld and went ahead and filled in all around there. And at some point, either today or tomorrow, I will carefully try to smooth that out, so that there's a nice transition down to where the drain's going to be. And hopefully that's the last of the surprises, and I can just go ahead and rough up the rest of this. But the big snag on the tub is that I ordered a refinishing kit or a couple cans of refinishing spray that is XIM Doctile. And the reason I chose that one is I've used other products in the past. We're okay. Overall, I never had it long term, so I didn't know what the durability was. And reading reviews for those products, people said it just peeled up really easily. And this particular product, the XIM, was recommended by a countertop company as a application to their product. So I thought, well, it's not too different in price, so I'll give that one a shot. So I ordered it like a week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks ago now, and the label was printed, or it said that it was shipped on the 31st of March. Well, today's the 6th of April, and it hasn't been scanned through any hubs at all. And reaching out to the seller, they just said, oh, well, it's supposed to be delivered by X date, which is today, by the end of the day. And it said, let us know if you haven't received it by then. So I sent them a message saying, this still doesn't show that it's even been scanned through any hubs. Can you let me know, what's going on? That was through an Amazon seller. I'm sure what the deal is they're a third-party seller. They contacted the seller or somebody else directly, and it's being shipped from the manufacturer or something like that. So yesterday, which I wished I had found this earlier, but through Ace Hardware, I could buy the same product and they'll ship it to the store here locally, and it'll be here in 4 days, so they say. If I had done that a week and a half ago, I would already have the product, but it wasn't going to be a problem, supposedly wasn't going to be a problem, and I wouldn't have to drive anywhere to pick it up. So although that's not a huge deal. It was supposedly a benefit to have it delivered to my house versus having to pick it up in town. So that's going to bring things very, very close to the wire. It's supposed to be arriving the day before my wife gets here, and then depending on if it arrives on time, depending on what time of day it arrives, as far as whether I can come out here, spray it on properly, and allow it to sit enough to where I can move it the following day, potentially without ruining the finish, into place, so it's at least in the bathroom. But all that, I mean, everything has to fall kind of perfectly, like I have said in previous videos about this whole remodel. So I'm not going to, I'm assuming it's not going to happen. I'll be pleasantly surprised if I can pull this off. But where it stands now is I've got to do a second coat of mud in the bathroom here, and after that is done, I think I'm going to pivot hard and pull all the furniture and everything out of here and start the layout process for the tile in the spare bedroom. So hopefully I can at least get something done, like done before my wife comes back, because that's going to be a 2 to 3 day project in that room. And I also will have to do probably a third coat of mud on the seams in here, even if just in a few places. Then I've got the sanding and the texturing and painting, which might be able to be done in 1 day. But then I've got cleanup from that. Plus I've got to level the floor in here before I can put any tile in place. So, sorry for jerking the camera there. What I might actually end up doing is I may have to just focus on leveling out this pan and worrying about getting the tile in here on time, and the rest of the floor I'll just have to kind of do it when I can, although it is a major inconvenience for me even while my wife is out of town, because the full-size toilet is not in use right now because it's pulled out of here, and I don't really care for using the travel size toilet in the trailer. So that's the update for now, and I'll let you guys know either end of today I'll do a recap, or it'll be a recap for tomorrow. So thanks for sticking around, thanks for riding this out with me, and hopefully I get this done and can actually post some really positive information for you guys down the road here. Alright, so it is later in the same day, day 5 here, and I finished up my mudding around 2:30. Took me about 3.5 hours plus a couple breaks in the middle there. And after I did that, I decided I was gonna go for it, and I went ahead and poured the self-leveler in the tub area and in the rest of this area here, coming up to this threshold right here, which is actually level and it's the highest point. So literally just got done pouring that. So it's gonna take, I don't know, an hour or so for it to be able to be walked on, I think. And so I'm just gonna take a break and take it easy for a little bit, probably grab a little bit of dinner. I think it's about 5:30 or 6 o'clock, something like that. And yeah, so feel pretty good about where I am right now. I looked today and finally there was some activity on the hold just a second. Okay, so we're back. I had to check. I thought I'm hearing little bubbles and things like that, and it sounds kind of like dripping a little bit. and I wanted to make sure that there wasn't anything running down into my toilet feed there, and it doesn't seem that there is, but I didn't step over there. I just kind of like stood on this little ridge here and leaned, put my hand on there and had one hand on the windowsill there, and hopefully there's nothing dripping down into my sewer there, and if there is, it should not be enough to cause any real long-term damage, hopefully, but I didn't see anything going into the pipe there, so we'll hope for the best here. But yeah, it looks pretty good so far, and it's not perfect, but I got it spread out flat enough, I think, that when I install the tile, the thin set, I can change the level of the thin set to kind of level it all out. So shouldn't be dealing with any kind of undulations of any kind, hopefully, but I guess we'll find out after the fact once it dries a little bit more. So the next thing is going to be taking the furniture and everything. I got to clear a space here in the living room so that I can bring all the furniture out of the spare bedroom and clear that floor so that I can start laying out tile. I'll probably do some layout tonight, and then maybe that'll be the first thing that I do tomorrow, depending on where we sit with the drywall in the bathroom. I may have to do a third coat on some of the areas in here. So I'll just take a look at that in the morning and go from there. But next plan, like I said, is pull the furniture out of there, start messing with the layout, and then I also still need to rough up the enamel on the tub, and I need to grind down the epoxy that I did for the drain, around the drain area. And I think I got interrupted when I was talking earlier, but I did see there was finally a scanned progress on the refinishing kit for the tub. It's in Illinois. We'll see if it gets here by tomorrow or not, but that still might work. I mean, I still might be able to pull that part of it off. So another thing, once I finish the tub, and I may just work on the tub tonight. I may not even mess with the spare room, but we'll see. I'll let you guys know what I end up doing. But so far so good. Second coat of drywall, mud, and I leveled the floor in the bathroom today. So I'll call that a win. It's still light out, so I've got tonight to work. I may actually go out and start working on this tub while I've got daylight, because it's easier to see the tub in the daytime than it is at night. Even though I do have a porch light out there, I can't really see it perfectly. So anyway, that's the update, and I'll probably catch up to you guys tomorrow morning, the start of day 6. All right, good morning. Welcome back to Boisterous Cock Farmstead. I think we're on day 6 of construction here, and I started in the previous day. I said I was going to work on resurfacing this, and I got a good bit around the top and in the backside and around the epoxy on the drain, and pretty close to where I like that, but I still need to do the bulk of the tub. And I lost daylight last night, and the porch light was not really doing well, especially on these areas that are close to it, backlit by it. So I'll do that in a downtime, whenever that is. Today I've got to do the third coat of mud in the bathroom, and I may actually, well, once I'm done with the drywall, I'll assess whether I want to try to start putting in the tile, and I haven't decided if I'm going to do a moisture barrier. I've got some Red Guard that I was going to do in the tub surround area, but I was contemplating doing that all over the floor, but I haven't decided that, and I'll need to run into town and get some rollers for my little brush to do that. So I probably won't put RedGuard on the floor, but anyway, a couple updates. Last night, at some time last night, something came and chewed off one of the legs of the chicks. I don't know if it was kind of back in the corner of the tractor there, in the back right corner of the tractor, and I don't know if it got smushed and the leg was hanging out and something was opportunistic and came by and ate it, or if something actually came by and swiped the leg and chewed it off or whatever. But anyway, I had one of my chicks was missing a leg this morning and it was dead in there, so kind of a bummer. Didn't lose any in the brooder, and within 2 days of putting them out on pasture, already lost one. So but that's, I live out in the country and there are animals all around. There's daytime animals, nighttime animals, so hopefully it wasn't one of my cats. I would be pretty upset if it was. But on a positive note, this morning when I was doing chores, Gumbo was walking around. He still is walking gingerly on it, but he's putting a lot more weight on his front foot, so that's a positive, at least. So alright, so a little bit of a snag. Again, the drywall mud is not dry. It hasn't been 24 hours since I was last working on it either. But I think part of the problem is airflow in this room. So I've got a box fan turned on and circulating air in the bathroom here. And going forward, I'll just make sure that I turn that on at the end of the day, or whenever, at the end of whenever I'm doing work on there. So I'm gonna have to work on something else. I'm not exactly sure what that's going to be just yet. Okay, so I'm making an executive decision here because the drywall mud in a few places I don't think is even probably going to be dried today. I am going to start working on the floor tile, and I'm going to start in the tub over there. I already went ahead and dry laid out how I want it to kind of seat, and with this particular tile I'm going to have to cut off one whole side. Actually, on one of the pieces I'll have to cut off two sides and give me a nice straight edge on either side. That first piece, that double-sided cut, will go in the corner, and I'll move along this wall here. That's my straighter wall. This one is slightly off square, and so what I'll do is I'll cut those three sheets, cut this one on both sides, and then I'll measure when I get to the third sheet. I'll measure off how much I need to cut to get up against this threshold here. And we're just gonna start laying some tile in here. So I'll get them pre-cut, then I'll mix up some of the thin set, and we'll start spreading it.